So thank you guys. I'm really honored to be joining you all today. So yeah, I've got kind of two identities I've brought together more recently. So I've been working in brain injury rehabilitation as a psychologist for 20 years. I'd always in my spare time done martial arts, Kung Fu and Tai Chi. And that involved going to China to training with monks and nuns in the temples in the mountains in China. I've been very privileged and lucky to be able to do that. And then over the last few years, I've been interested in bringing the two together. So to bring in Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, as ways of opportunities for working on the body and the mind at the same time as part of a journey after brain injury. And there's been quite a bit of research on this already, I was surprised to find, but it was often done as more of a physio kind of intervention, whereas the secret to Tai Chi, as we'll discover today, is the mind and how the body is a vehicle to getting into a particular place in our mind. So I really want us to explore that. What we're going to do, we're going to try some things for a little period of time and then come back together. I'll take some questions about it and then we'll try something else, come back, and we'll do switch between that. So if I'm doing something and it's really not making sense, or it's really difficult, just bear with it, and then sooner or later we'll touch back in as a group and we can have a conversation about it. The difference between something Tai Chi and something like physiotherapy is that, yes, we're going to be doing movement, we're going to be doing postures, using our body in a way that's beneficial to things like joint mobility, balance, muscle strength, and all this. All of these things benefit from doing these kind of practices regularly. But what's different to physio is that we don't have a goal of doing something physical as our main aim. And we make sure that the practices are safe. Otherwise, our goal is using the physical movement to get into a state of mind. And I'm going to call that a flow state. Many of you may kind of experience being in the flow at times in your life. Maybe you do other hobbies or activities. It might even be something, doing a bit of the housework or something where you just forget who you are and you're just in that zone, in that flow. So that's what we try and aim for in Tai Chi. And the movements and the rhythm and the shapes and the changes in the movements help us do that. Now, for some people, those movements might be really physically demanding, and it might be standing up, it might be moving in very intricate ways. Other people, the movements might be smaller or be based seated in a seated position. They're all different ways to get into the same place, which is this flow state. That's the main idea. I wouldn't want anyone to try anything that's so physically demanding for them that they're not in a relaxed state, that they're worried about falling over or hurting themselves. That's not Tai Chi, okay? That's just physical torture. So we want this to be a way of getting into a relaxed state, okay? So with that in mind, we're going to look at some different movements, and I'm going to always give a series of options, okay? An option will be doing it seated or standing. I'm seated right now. You might feel like you want to stay seated the whole session. You might feel, actually, I want to get up and there's an option for you to stand and you want to have that kind of expansion in your body. Great, as long as it doesn't take away from being relaxed. And I'm also going to do options of using one side of the body, one arm or one leg, and then both sides of the body changing over. And, you know, depending on how your brain injury has impacted your life, one side may be available to you, but not the other side. So I'm going to give options to explore that. Importantly, I'm going to give the Tai Chi perspective on when one side of the body doesn't work so well, which I think is quite a unique perspective and might be of interest to some of you. All right. But I'm going to say right now that the most important movement, the most important thing that we do today is breathing. It's the breath, and it's something that Tai Chi, Qigong, Kung Fu, yoga all share. A lot of these ancient Eastern mind-body traditions share a focus on breathing, stretching to a certain extent, and a kind of a mental focus linked to the breathing. And that's really key. And that's been shown in research to have a big impact on fatigue, for example. So I think this stuff has a lot of value for each of your journeys going forward in living with the impact of a brain injury. But I'm going to stop waffling on and we're going to get into it. There is a video out there where there's a bit more of a background to some of these ideas. You may have been forwarded that link already via Tuesday. If you've not had that link, we'll make sure that it gets out to you. You can check that video out if you want to know the background to both Tai Chi, its role in brain injury, and these kind of things. All right, so we're going to start off. You might want to start off seated and stay seated. You might want to start off standing. You might want to change to standing. I'll give you some options as we go in. What we're going to do is just kind of warm up the joints in the body first of all. So if you're seated, if possible, try and straighten your back. Maybe come on the edge of your chair. So try not to be slumped where possible. Try and get some lift in your body in one way, shape, or form. All right, so what we're going to do, we're just going to warm up the body a little bit. So if both hands are available to you, I want you to interlace the fingers and stretch them up like this, okay? If one hand is available to you, I want you just to take the good arm and just extend it up, okay? And then we're just gonna twist to one side gently. It doesn't matter which side, just twist to one side.
I'm not doing the Tai Chi.
And then come back to the middle.
But I should be able to do the same after.
And then twist to the other side. And then come back. Great, and just release the hands. And if both hands are available to you, reach one hand up and then the other, just alternating. And we want a gentle approach to this stuff, so don't force anything. A key idea in Tai Chi is that a drop of water will erode away a mountain eventually. So we're in this stuff for the long game, okay? Gentle approaches have changed that are longer lasting and reduce injury. That's it. And bring one or both arms down. Lovely. And then we're going to slowly look to one side. And then bring our head back. And slowly look to the other side. And bring our head back. And then if it's okay, we're going to gently bring one ear towards one shoulder. Yeah, nice and gentle. Don't force anything. And then slowly change so the other ear comes towards the other shoulder. And then come up. And then I just want you to dip your chin in and then circle the head to one side and then circle it down to the other shoulder. Just for not a full circle, just half circle from one shoulder to the next. Grand, and then come up and then come to the middle. Lovely. Now I'm going to work on my shoulders. Basically this bit, we're just having a warm up and we're undoing life, okay? We're undoing the impact of how we hold ourselves during the course of the day. And the idea is that this unblocks everything and allows the energy of the Tai Chi work to flow through us. So now we've kind of done the head and the shoulder, now we're going to the head and neck, now against the shoulders. I want you to bring your shoulders up to your ears and then roll them back. Everything rising to the ears, rolling back. If one shoulder, one side is more responsive, focus on that. But maybe find if this is the center line of your body, think about everything coming up. Find a center point that blends both sides of the body. I'll talk a bit more about one side of the body is unresponsive in a minute. Brilliant. And then we're going to change the angle of those rotations. So shoulders up to the ears, now roll forward towards the camera, towards me. Great. Okay. Then take one arm, whatever's available to you, your preferred arm, and then to keep a bend in it, I just want you to circle the elbow back. Nice. And then change direction, circle it forward. So Tai Chi is both a martial art and a health practice. So right now we're loosening up the shoulders, but this is a martial arts move at the same time. And it does some nasty stuff if you use this in a combat situation. That's the interesting thing about Tai Chi. It's both martial art and health. It's used for your health, but it can be used for defense as well. It's really interesting. Okay. Now, if the other arm is available to you, same thing, lift the elbow and circle it back. If the other arm isn't available to you, I want you to see what you can own from this other side of the body that's not available. If you can own the chest area, can you have an intention of moving from the center of the body? If you can reclaim the shoulder, if the shoulder is available, can you think about circling the shoulder? So if the arm and the hand itself is not available to you, which bit of the body can you have access to? Focus on that and circle, and we're going to talk a bit more about that later. And then change direction. Okay, great. Okay, so hands down. Now take your preferred arm and cross it over your body. Now if you're on a chair, hold on to the edge of the chair and then use that to twist the body to one side, looking over your shoulder. And then come back round to the middle. If the other arm is available to you, I want you to then cross it over your body, grab hold of the chair. If one side isn't available to you, use the same arm, but put it on the other side of the chair. Whichever hand using it, use it to lever the body to the other side. And try and extend, come up tall as we do that. So the body is going up and then twisting around. Some of you might know this from chair-based yoga. And then coming back. All right, so I'm hoping the upper body's feeling a little bit more enlivened and freer now. We're just going to do the lower body as well. So you're not going to be able to see my feet right now, so I'll just talk us through it. So I want you to lift the heels of your feet. So one or both feet, if both feet are available, lift both heels of the feet, push the toes, the ball of the foot into the ground. If one leg is available to you, just lift that one and then lower the heels down of the feet. So you're lifting the heels up of the feet, which pushes the toes and the ball of the feet into the floor. And down, and once more, lift the heels up and down. And then take one leg and I want you to lift the whole foot up. So this is my knee here. My knee is lifting up, coming down. Knee lifting up and down. Lifting the knee, the whole foot coming up and down. And then an option here with the same leg, lift the foot up. And if it's available to you, extend the foot forward. Don't push into pain or discomfort. Just giving the leg a bit more of a stretch and bring it down. And then just take a moment, come up tall again if possible. Then we're going to try the other leg. All right, so if the other leg is available to you, we're going to repeat that. If the other leg's not available to you, you've got a couple of options here. You can use the hand and passively lift the leg up with the hand, or you can just focus on the previous leg for another round. So if the other foot fails you, you're going to lift the heel up, lift the whole foot up and come down, lifting the knee so the whole foot comes off the floor and down. Once more, knee up, foot up, down. And then the option here, lift the knee and then extend the foot forward so the whole leg is parallel to the floor, and bring it down. Nice. And then let's just just circle a little bit in our hips, just circle the body round, just relax the hips, and then circle the other way. So imagine you're doing a hula hoop on a chair. Okay, so that's the preparation. That's just getting us ready. All right, and hopefully the body feels a little bit more responsive. So we're going to have a look at one thing, and we're going to try it out, and I'm going to show some options, and then we'll stop and have a chat and check in with each other. So as I said before, the most important thing is the breath. Okay, so we're going to focus on breathing. Now we breathe hundreds of thousands of times each day. If we become aware of how we breathe, each one of those breaths can be an opportunity for a bit of healing, a bit of nourishment, a bit of a resource to the mind as well as the body. So the first thing that many Eastern traditions do is check in on that breathing process. So what I want you to do is put your hands on your belly. Maybe just kind of make sure that part of the hand is below the belly button if possible. If one hand is not so good, I want you to sandwich that in the middle and put the good hand on top. All right. Otherwise, put your hands on your belly, whatever way you like. Now, I want you to imagine that there's a balloon in your belly. All right. There's a balloon in your belly, and we're going to breathe in to our belly to inflate the balloon. And we're going to do that through our nose. I want you to take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. And imagine there's that balloon. Get that breath right down your throat, down past your chest, down here to your belly. And inflate that balloon with the breath. And then slowly let that breath come out of the balloon. The balloon shrivels up. The breath comes out. The breath can come out back through your nose, or it can come out of your mouth, whatever you feel comfortable with. But keep it that it goes in through your nose if possible. So breathing in through your nose, slowly and deeply, down into your belly. Inflate that balloon. And breathing out. The balloon deflates, shrivels up. The belly falls back down. So as you breathe in, the belly should rise, should fill your hands. So just check in on that. Sometimes we have a habit of doing the opposite. We tend to suck our belly in as we breathe in. So just bring your awareness and just see, as you breathe in, does my belly go out? Does it fill my hands? And then as I breathe out, does my belly fall back in towards my spine? Once more, breathing in. Filling that balloon. Breathing out. So we are already doing Tai Chi right now. We're doing the most important bit of Tai Chi. The breath coming in, expanding inside us, and then going out. There's already a movement here. And whatever else we do for the rest of this hour, this is the most important bit. So now and again, I'm going to bring us back to this deep breath in into our belly, and this deep breath out. It's more important than anything else we do next with our hands or our legs or whatever. Okay. So we're going to create a ripple from this breath in. So as the breath comes in, our stomach expands, and we're going to start to ripple out. Now, at this point, if you want to stay seated, stay seated. If you fancy standing up, by all means, do stand up. The option here would be standing up, still holding onto your belly, breathing it out. Okay, whatever feels right. I don't want you to make standing too much of a challenge, a balance. I want you to set that state of mind. So I'm going to go back to seated, just option, but if you're up, enjoy being up. Okay. Now we're going to ripple this balloon out of our bodies now. So what's going to happen as we breathe in, our balloon expands, and then our hands come out. Imagine the balloon come out of your belly and it's expanding. Hands coming out, and then you're going to, as you breathe out, you're going to push that balloon back into your belly. Breathing in, the balloon comes out. Imagine this big balloon expanding in front of you, your hands on the edge of the balloon. And as you breathe out, you're pushing the balloon back in your belly. Doing some standing, breathing in, circles out, breathing out, hands back to your belly. Once more, breathing in and out. Keep the shoulders as relaxed as possible, the arms relaxed. If one arm is available to you, you're going to do it with one arm. As if half the balloon is expanding out to one side, and you're going to push it back down. Yeah, so if you're sat down, it's one arm that's tracing a balloon coming out of one side. If both arms are available to you, you're doing two-handed, two-armed version. Keep relaxed. And as you repeat these movements, let yourself kind of be hypnotized by them. Just go in to the flow of the movement. Try and forget about anything else. Once you have the movement, forget about me until I see something new. We're going to just stick on this for a little while. You can just zone me out and just zoom in to your own movements that you're doing just for you. Keep the breath going. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And do one more. Great. Now we're going to change it. Come to have, if both hands are available to you, have the palms facing each other. If one hand is available to you, have the palm facing in. And you're going to open up the arms like this. Open, close towards each other. One hand would be open to the side, close back to your center line. Two hands both open, close. The sensation here, imagine you've got some Play-Doh or some dough, some kind of thing that you're stretching. You don't want to stretch it so much that it snaps. And then you're going to release it back towards each other. Breathing out, breathing in as it opens. Breathing out as it comes back. Standing version, breathing in, breathing out. In, just be absorbed by the rhythm of movement, the breath filling your body, the breath leaving your body, having done its job. Looking great, guys. Looking really nice. Okay, a little change coming up. One more of these. Now if the hands come towards each other, they're going to palms going to face down. They're going to go towards the ground. And then they're going to come up again, face each other, go out, come back towards each other, come down. Seated version, up, palms towards each other, go out, back towards each other, down. One-handed version, up, palm in towards the center, comes out, comes back to the center, out. Find your own flow. Remember the most important thing, the breath. Looking really nice, guys. One more. Okay, now we're going to change it. I'm going to bring one or both hands up. Now imagine you're at a football match and you're holding a scarf, or imagine you're the branches of a tree and you're going to sway from one side to the other. It could be one arm that's extended rather than both, for swaying the body. Palms facing each other, swaying in the breeze, or showing your team scarf at a match. Standing up. If you're standing up, and sitting up, roots down with the feet. Think of yourself as a tree, roots coming out of the soles of your feet, securing you. The trunk is strong. The arms are the branches that are free, moving in the wind. Looking great, guys, looking great. Okay, maybe if you're standing, take a seat for the final bit. Take a seat, and when you sat back down, resume this movement. Again, it could be one arm, it could be both arms. All right, so we're gonna make this movement a bigger movement by circling. So what we're going to do is as we circle over, we're going to fold the body over one leg, drop our head down, circle it down across the floor to the other leg, come back up to the sky. So you're tracing a circle up high over one leg, coming down low over the other leg, coming up. There's an option to do this standing. It just might make you dizzy if you've not done it before. So maybe try seated first of all. One more this way. Remember that breath. Breathing in as you come up. Now we're going to change direction. Circle the other way now. Breathing out as you come down over one leg. When you get to the middle, start breathing in again as you come up. Breathing out as you come down. Keep circling. Could be one arm version, one arm extended. Both arms available to use. Imagine you're holding something like a ball. Maybe you picked up a big medicine ball or a cauldron. Let's keep it Halloweeny. You've got a cauldron and you're bringing it around, up and down. One more, guys. One more. Come up to the one more circle, down, and then when you get to the floor between your legs, come up straight. And then just hold your hands here. just for a second. If both hands are available, keep them both out. If one arm is available, keep that out. And then we've stopped the movements on the outside, but just close your eyes. Maybe you can still feel the echoes of the movements we've been doing, still dancing around inside you. Just notice that. Then bring your hands back to hold on your stomach. You might notice that your hands are warmer than when you started. So that sensation of warmth is what the Chinese call qi. Just check in, and we've stirred the glass of water in these movements. But when you stir a glass of water, it doesn't stop. Even when you stop stirring, the water still spins round a little while before it comes to a sun. And we're just going to let that happen inside us as we breathe deeply into our belly, into that balloon. Breathing out. Everything comes to a point of stillness. And then when you're ready, put one or both hands over your eyes and then slowly open your eyes in the darkness. Bring your hands down. Okay. Well done, guys. So that's the first little taster. Should we take some questions or thoughts or comments now? Do you want to unmute yourselves? And if you have any thoughts or questions, let me know. Because we're going to have another go before we finish the session. So we'll just take this pause to check in and find out how that works with people.
That was excellent. You know, when we sing in a choir and when we warm up for choir, we do a lot of this movements. And when we breathe, we've got to breathe into our bellies. So yeah. I am used to breathing into my belly. And having the movements is so lovely. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's interesting, actually. I have some colleagues who do a lot of breath work through singing practices, and they definitely have a similar foundation. And the monks and the nuns in China, when they're not doing these practices, they are singing the verses, the praises of their own sacred scriptures. So they sing as part of the day. But definitely singing is very interconnected with these practices. Yeah. Another way to get into the flow, I think, to be in the flow of singing, in the flow of music.
Yeah, I know a choir teacher, she sort of like, sometimes she'll like, you know, just chant away. And she's done a couple of sessions with us as well. It's like a meditation thing as well. So, and we have to all, you know, have our own version of ahhing and oohing and, you know, but it's great, you know, it makes us more creative, I think.
Grand.
And I think the more creative you can be with your mind, the more creative you can be with your body.
Definitely. Wise words. Any other thoughts or reflections?
Just lovely to feel so peaceful. Thoroughly, that was lovely. Thank you. We're all so busy at the minute and thinking about other things. It was nice to be in that moment. It was lovely.
Yeah,
definitely. I know this morning
I've
been feeling, my anxiety has been sky high lately, and I'm trying to manage my anxiety. But doing this has really released the anxiety, and like Ali said, so calming, you know.
Really nice to hear.
Yeah.
So me too, you know, when I do, particularly doing things online, that's more in my head. So I'm going to be kind of doing stuff with Headway, similar sessions in the future, although I'll be talking about other topics. So I'm going to be more in my head the next time you see me in the new year online, I'll be talking about stuff. I'll be more in my head, less in my body. And then the first thing I'll do when that session finishes, I'll go and do this. And ideally, I'll go do it in close to some form of nature, be it a garden or a tree or something. So, you know, you're back in your body, you're inspired by something beautiful around you. And so that sense of peace and relaxation has multiple layers. Nature, body movement, the breath, the mind, it all kind of flows through you. That's the idea. That's what the monks and nuns are all about, who created this stuff. Yeah. I'll take this opportunity to say a little bit about that, actually. And you can check out the link to the video that I did an introduction about this to. Like a key thing, I think many brain injuries, from what I've seen in working with survivors, is that a brain injury can fragment and splinter and leave people in pieces. What can't happen is those pieces can't be sealed back together as if they've never been split apart in the same way. But what something like this can do, if you imagine kind of leaves in a stream, leaves are all individual pieces, but the current and flow of the stream will move all the different pieces in one. So breathing, being in your body and moving in a way that's accessible to you, kind of holds you together as one while you're doing this. And not just you, but we're all moving together. For those of you, maybe you could see that everyone was moving at the same time. So we're like a shoal of fish or a murmuration of starlings. We're all moving. So the sense of being as one as a whole is beyond our individual bodies. It's something bigger. And then, you know, for those who have spiritual beliefs, you might find that this feels something that's like a transcendental or transcendent experience. It's something that gets you closer to something bigger than yourself, whatever you believe that to be. So this kind of rhythm and the movement can hold things together, which, from what I understand, is something that's such a rare experience for anyone. But after a brain injury, it's an opportunity to have the pieces being held as one again. Did anyone find any of the movements that we did harder than the others, or harder to follow, or harder to do? And let me know about your individual circumstances. Maybe one side isn't so good, maybe balance is difficult, maybe matching what you see to moving your body is difficult.
I know with me on my right side, to make my arms level, I have to really think about, you know, because this always comes there, you know. So, and this right arm of mine got quite achy. And I felt I was almost having to hold my right arm, you know, instead of having my hands there, I was actually holding my hand and saying, come on up, you know. But, you know, it's the way I try and do things, you know.
Yeah.
And actually doing on Zoom, and where you can actually see yourself, you know, in the little picture at the top. It's so good because you can see whether you're square or not, you know. And so
it's like a mirror, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mirror.
No,
really
good. Anyone else found some particular physical challenges to movement?
Is it normal to feel quite tired after Tai Chi?
That's a really interesting question. So it's normal to feel sleepy in a kind of cozy, relaxed kind of way. And over time, people can find that once they've got used to doing something like this, they can end up both with a cozy sleepiness, but also feel quite energized as well. But it goes back to what we're saying about the physical stuff. It may be that for a given person, they need to do less. So we've done, we did about 25 minutes continuously just then. Now, for some of you, that might be you done for the session. So relax, chill back. For others of you, you might feel like, yeah, I could do another little bit, and so we'll do another little bit. But this is key. Don't push this. If it feels like it's exhausting, then go back and let your body enjoy what you've done, benefit from it. It'll probably feel good tomorrow, next day. If you feel like you have a bit more to go, then go for it. So I do a regular session with the Different Strokes charity every Monday on their Facebook page. It's on their YouTube page. And those sessions, I do about half an hour. So we would have done it. That would be us done for the week. See what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah. So just be kind to yourself and say, actually, that's me. I'm done. And then just relax. You can just watch the rest if you want. And if you feel like it's a bit more, fine. But yeah, it's definitely with physical abilities or energy, you don't push this. You let it just naturally find its own capacity.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. When we did some research of a Tai Chi group in an NHS community brain injury service a couple of years ago, and everyone was saying who did that they felt they did it every week for 6 months, and at the end they were feeling both relaxed and energized at the same time. So it's something that can build over time, but while it should leave you more in your pot, your energy pot, to use throughout the week rather than depleting you. If it's depleting you, it probably means that you're doing too much of it and you need to scale it back. Even just 5 minutes of just being still and breathing into your belly is a wonderful recharge.
It's a good exercise to try and de-stress and center yourself with all this COVID that's going on. You can switch off.
Totally.
And center yourself. Yeah.
So there's a particular sequence of moves called the 8 brocades, and it's been researched in medical trials for use with stroke patients actually, and it's been found beneficial. But the very first group of patients who had COVID in China, where the doctors in China made them do this as part of their everyday on the ward. So this is used to help the first group of people who had COVID recover. Yeah, pretty interesting.
Okay.
Any more questions or thoughts before we try a little bit more? Okay. So what I thought we'd do, just for the last bit, is we did lots of different movements then, and we were enjoying the flow, and that was really what I wanted to show you guys, that kind of feeling of flow. Oh yeah, please guys, if you can mute your microphones now for the last bit, thank you. Just put the line back through the microphone, that would be great. Whereas I wanted you guys to feel the flow of the movement and the breath. It's quite a dynamic posture, a dynamic practice. Now I want us to find the connection between our core and the movement. We're going to do one thing now rather than lots of different things, but we're going to do it deeply. All right. So I would say for this, maybe if everyone stays seated, unless you have loads of energy and you want to stand, but I would say it would be a nice time if you have been standing to do this seated, just so that you feel kind of stable and secure in what you're doing. All right, so we are going to try, we're going to do we're going to do a couple of things that link the arm to our belly. So people who haven't had a brain injury, who in the general population who I teach Tai Chi and Kung Fu to here in Oxford, struggle often with going to here. So they see a movement at the beginning, they think it's about doing stuff with your arms or your legs. And the discovery of Tai Chi is to find actually, if you are moving your arms, your legs, it comes from the core. This bit moves first, and then it ripples out. And people who aren't used to kind of being aware and inhabiting their bodies, just go about their mind up here, and their hands and legs flailing about in a hurried, kind of rushed pace of life, but haven't taken time to be here, be down here, and think about breath. And for many of you, that awareness has been forced on you by having a brain injury, by things in your body and your mind not working as they used to. And so you've had to start that process of thinking about, how does this stuff work? Where am I? Where does my body end? My mind begins, and vice versa. Many people who haven't had a brain injury haven't had to think about this stuff. So the whole process of Tai Chi, to start, it's kind of like microwaving yourself. Start on the inside and work your way out. It's a challenging process for everyone, actually. But what it does mean is that if one bit of you, like an arm or a hand or fingers on one side, or the whole side of the way don't work, they're not so responsive, then start in the center and work your way out is a different way to approach it than thinking about jumping to the edge like my hand or my fingers immediately. Well, to get from here to here, we have to start a process of expanding out. And so we try and do everything from here and let the ripples go out into movement. So we're going to explore that in two ways, all right? So we're just going to work on, for those of you who did some sessions with me in the Headway North Wales event last year, you will have done this with me already. So we're going to have a little go. For those of you, this is going to be a treat. This move is called Cloud Hand. I want you to take your preferred hand, or the hand that's available to you. Have your other hand on your belly. Now, the hand that's available to you, I want you to just scoop it down across your body, and then bring it up, and then bring it over your head, maybe, and then turn the hand out towards the camera, towards the computer or your phone, towards me, and then come down again. Come up, circle it up, come down. And just get used to the circle movement. But we want to find a connection between here and the hand that's circling. So we just don't want to jump our mind to the hand as if it's floating around separate from our body. So we're going to try and find a connection here. First, we'll keep shoulders and elbows relaxed. And then we're going to try and find the movement from our core, first of all. So what do I mean by that? So we're going to circle up once more, and then we're going to let the body lead. So as we come down, think about your belly turning out to one side. And as it turns to the side, it brings the arm with it. Now think about bringing your collarbones up. So the collarbones extend the hand upwards. Now I want you to round your shoulders, round your back, which has the act of pulling the hand back across your body. And then sink down into your hips to bring the hand down. Turn the hips, turn the belly to one side. Lift up at the collarbones, lift up at the chest to bring the hand up. Round the shoulders, bring the hand across. Sink down into your hips. Turn the belly to one side. Lift the stomach, the chest, the collarbone. Round the shoulders to bring it across. So your arm is still moving, but your trunk of your body is leading the movement. And the arm is more like a ripple of what your main trunk of your body is doing. Let the belly button go to one side. Raise the stomach, raise the chest, raise the collarbone. Round the shoulders to bring the hands back round. Down. Once more. Down and relax. All right, just shake it off. And then let's try the other arm. So if the other arm is available to you, get it ready. And maybe that this other arm, if it's available to you, is not your preferred arm, so it's going to be a little different. If the other arm is not available to you, I'm going to guide you through something else. All right. So if for those who swapped arms, I want you to circle down the other way, crossing the other way, circling up. So you're going from outside, crossing your belly to the other side, circle up. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel different. Be it because it's not your preferred arm, or be it because of the impact of the brain injury. Just see what happens. I want you to keep doing that for a little bit. Those of you, the other arm is not responsive, I want you to think about the center line. You don't have the choice. So this is going to be core Tai Chi Advanced practice where you start. So this is where you need to start. I want you to think about the stomach going down, across, lifting the trunk up, over, down, so making a circle down. So the arm isn't responding, but the core of the body is doing the same movement that those with the extended arm are doing. And those of you who don't have the other arm extended are in the wiser position because you're not being distracted by the arm. You're where you need to be in your core. So those of us with our arms out doing this, let's find that connection. Sink the hips down, turn the belly button to the other side, raise the trunk, raise the collarbone, round the shoulders to bring the arm across. Sink down, turn, lift the body, round the shoulders to bring the arm across. And one more. All right. So this movement called cloud hands is something that gets developed. So you can move on to doing both hands at the same time. You develop the movement and you can go on to be doing walking versions at the same time. So the hands and the legs are moving. And you can keep developing this. So you can come down, have kicks as part of the movement. I'm showing you this just to show you how Tai Chi can develop. Now, the key thing about that is that as I do more and more things, I have to stay into this flow state. I have to stay in the breath. I have to stay relaxed, just in the movement, the flow. If I'm doing cloud hands and I'm really thinking hard about it, and then I'm going to do a big kick, but it's really hard, I can't balance, then this is not Tai Chi, okay? If I'm doing it, I'm staying in the flow, and my state of mind is as relaxed as you guys were talking about before, and I just happen to be doing things in my body in a relaxed and graceful way. And I stay in that serene state of mind. This is Tai Chi. Okay? And this is important because it's a very individual thing to find that right balance of movements that stimulate and exciting versus movements that induce hardship and take you away from a relaxed space. Okay. All right, we're going to try one more. Our last movement of the day. And this is inspired by talk of people having pet snakes earlier on. That snakes are very important in Chinese martial arts. And actually, snakes are linked, snake movements in the body as part of the martial arts practice are linked to autumn. So it's a good time to be thinking about snakes. And they're linked to our lung health, which, as someone said, it's an important time to be looking after our mind, looking after our lungs and respiration in these weird and challenging times. So we're going to try a snake Qigong practice. So, and let me just get myself back yet. Right. Okay. Hands on your belly. Okay. And again, if there's a better hand, have the better hand on top, sandwiching in the not so good hand in the middle. Okay. So we're going to again work on this connection between the belly and hands, arms, this kind of thing. So first thing we're going to do is give ourselves a nice tummy massage. So I want you just to circle your hands, pushing gently into your belly. Circle it one way. Nice and relaxed. Remember that breath. Remember the deep breath into your belly. Nice circles one way. Stop, change, circle the other way. That's it. Be warned, this might make you want to go to the loo. If you need to go to the loo, just go for it. Don't worry about the session. Okay, so if that feels okay, that's the hands moving. Now I want you to do the same circles, but pushing your hands into your belly. Now it's the body that moves in a circle one way. So it's not the hands moving, it's the whole body moving as a unit, circling one way. Breathing in, circle, breathing out, circle. And then circle the other way, the whole body, circle the other way. Good. Now we're going to develop this ripple outwards from our core, as we did with the cloud hand. I want you to extend your preferred arm that's available to you, and have the other hand, if you can, on your stomach or just resting the side. And I want you to bring your awareness back to the stomach. We're just having our hands hanging out in the air. Don't worry about what it does. Just keep it there. Focus on the belly, the trunk circling round. Deep breath into your belly. Now the hand that's extended, think about the shoulder now, and start to circle the shoulder in a way that ripples out from your belly. The belly circles the shoulder circle. And if that feels possible, that the belly and the shoulder are moving at the same time, let's bring in the elbow of the extended hand. Extended hand, extended elbow, and the shoulder and the belly all circling. Don't worry about which direction for now, just find a connection. And then finally, circle the wrists. Bring your thumb and fingers together so it makes like a shape of a head. And then the wrist is circling, the elbow is circling, the shoulder is circling, the stomach is circling. But it's the stomach that's driving everything. The stomach drives the shoulder, drives the elbow, drives the wrist. And bring it down. If the other arm is available to you, we'll do a few goes at the other arm just to balance it out. If it's not available to you, think about the trunk, the shoulder circling. Okay, so let's just go through. Circle the stomach. Circle the shoulder of the other arm. Circle the elbow of the other arm. Circle the wrist of the other arm. But at any point that doesn't work, it's okay, because the most important bit is the belly. Circle the belly. Breathe into the belly. This is the Tai Chi. Arms do stuff as a ripple only. We're focusing on the boulder, the source of the ripple, rather than ripple. Great. And bring it down. And then just give yourself a shake. Let's just loosen ourselves up. That is quite a strong practice on arms and shoulders. You want to roll your shoulders back, forward. Just loosen everything up. All right. Well, there we go. That is the end of the second go of that. And let's just check in again. That'll be all of the physical practice for the session. We've just got time to check in with each other before we wind up. Thank you all for being so brave and stepping out of your comfort zone and doing this with me today. You all looked amazing, those of you who I could see, and I hope all of you gained something from this.